some more on this, let's speak to Fabrizio Poli. He's the chairman of Kaizen Aerospace, a company which manages and charters private aircraft. He's joining us now from the UK. Fabrizio, good to speak with you as always. Now, first of all, let's talk specifically about these engines, these Pratt and Whitney engines. What do we know about the maintenance structure for these things?
Well, like all aircraft engines, these are maintained well. We have to sort of see now, once they do the investigation, to find out what the cause of this accident was. Was it the engine? Was it the maintenance? Was it something to do with the aerodynamics of the airplane? So grounding these airplanes to sort of delve into and find out what the root cause is very, very important. So it's early days right now, but I'm sure that the NTSB, as they investigate, and as also United Airlines get their into this, we'll find out the root cause and we'll be able to prevent this from happening again.
Yeah, and that's the idea, isn't it, to prevent it happening again. But it doesn't come at a good time for Boeing. They've only just got a few of those 737 MAXs back up in the air. So what does this mean for the brand of Boeing, that it's happened not only with this United Airlines flight, but as I was saying, with that cargo 747 in the Netherlands?
Well, I mean, this is not good because, I mean, the 74 and the 777 have been very reliable aircraft throughout the history of Boeing. And to have other two aircraft from Boeing, a 74 and a 777, have problems besides the 737 MAX is not good for the brand. I mean, I guess the guys at Airbus are cheering away now because this happened. I mean, fortunately, you know, with this incident that happened in the US, the pilots did a fantastic job in dealing with the emergency and bringing the aircraft safely down on the ground with everything intact and nobody got injured. So tribute to the pilots there. But, you know, not good time for Boeing.
No, absolutely not. And I do wonder, Fabrizio, since this has happened so close together, these two incidents with these two engines, these Pratt and Whitney engines, is this telling us something about the age of these planes and the age of this technology, that it's reaching a point after maybe, I don't know, 25 years of service, that perhaps they need to upgrade them?
Well, I wouldn't say this, and people, you know, they point at hitting it with the private jet market, for example. A lot of people are a bit weary about buying a 20-year-old jet. But, you know, as long as the airplanes are maintained well. I mean, I've seen airplanes that are like a year old in terrible condition. So it's a lot about how the airplane is flown and how the airplane is maintained. You know, you can have an older airplane, but if you maintain it well, you keep updating the parts and everything in that. I mean, over time, all the parts would have been replaced. So it's almost like a new airplane. So, you know, I wouldn't point my finger at the older airplanes. As long as the maintenance is done well and they're flown in a particular way, they are safe airplanes. I mean, let's look at, you know, the Boeing 737 MAX. I mean, when those two crashes, they were both new airplanes. So, you know, old airplanes crash and new, you know, old and new airplanes crash. It's all about the maintenance and the pilot training.
Yeah, it was different technology though, wasn't it? That was a computer issue. This is obviously mechanical. And you did mention the other manufacturers there. You mentioned Airbus. And I wonder about Rolls-Royce, who also make engines. What are they going to be thinking now after this has happened with their main competitors' engines?
Well, I mean, Rolls-Royce, a lot of the 777s are powered by Rolls-Royce engines, and they're very reliable. Of course, you know, people are going to start thinking, okay, if I buy a 777, do I buy it with, you know, Rolls-Royce engines or Pratt and Whitney engines? And maybe some passengers are sort of thinking, well, I'm flying on a 777 tomorrow. Let me ring the airline and find out what engines they use. So certainly, you know, that is going to be out there. It's not going to be for Pratt and Whitney, the fact that, you know, it's their engine that had this problem. But, you know, these things do happen in aviation, like they do happen in the space business. And, you know, when these accidents happen, you know, they have to be looked at and we have to learn something from it and make improvements to prevent these from happening again. But, you know, there'll be other things that will happen along the way. But, you know, it's about continuous and never-ending improvement. And that's the way we need to look at it. I mean, fortunately, as I said before, no one got hurt in this one. And the airplane was brought safely to the ground, and a great tribute to the pilots there at United Airlines.
Yeah, they certainly did a good job. Fabrizio, finally then, you mentioned a bit of it then. I wonder if now, after what we've seen with the 737 MAX and this latest incident, customers are going to get more sort of insight into exactly what kind of craft and what kind of mechanical engineering is used on the craft that they're flying in. Will there be more of that coming forward, do you think, in the years to come? And would it be useful?
Yeah, well, certainly. I mean, people today are a lot more informed. I mean, even when someone visits their doctor, they've done their research. You know, we've got, you know, this live library called Google or whatever search engine you may use. And, you know, people do their research. And it's the same with airplanes. People can go online these days and research the engines on the airplane and find out all sorts of things. So I think we're moving towards more of a transparent world, and I think this is a good thing. The information is out there, and people can do their research and then choose, and be able to make more of an informed decision whether they're seeking medical treatment or which airplane to buy or to fly on.
Okay, Fabrizio Poli from Kaizen Aerospace. We'll have to leave it there. Thanks for being with us.